Hello, everyone, and welcome to the press box where I am going to answer the call today. I'm flying solo. Steven is out. He has other things that he has to take care of. But don't worry, guys. I've got lots to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. I got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff happening. All right. So, and he did leave me his hot take of the week. Um, which is kind of ironic. I don't know how much of a hot take it is, but we'll get into that and much more. First up, we got the first call. First call. We're gonna talk about the game last night between the New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a game! You know, if you were just kind of looking at the score, early, it seemed like it might have been a snooze fest, but really, there was some flags that got called, and that kind of hurt, and some touchdowns that got called back. One of them being George Pickens. He got the same foot down twice. All right, he got the same foot down twice, and I don't know. I mean, 2 feet. One knee equals 2 feet, but the same foot doesn't equal 2 feet. I don't know. I don't know how that works. That is really interesting. But needless to say, he got his, I believe it was his right foot down, and then it came up, and he got his right foot down again. And they said that 1 foot twice is not 2 feet. So the touchdown came back. The Steelers ended up winning. They won that game, and they have now won 22 straight games on Monday Night Football dating back to 1992. So from 1992 to present day, they have won 22 straight Monday Night Football games. What a streak! What a streak! That honestly could have made the call out section today. The call out section is a little bit shorter. It's Tuesday versus Monday. But we got a couple people that made the call out in just a little bit. We're going to go over some key games. I'm going to go over some key games in the college. A few of the ones that I'm going to be kind of looking at. Maybe that'll kind of help you guys decide which games to go after and watch this weekend. But yeah, what a game. So the Steelers are 2-0 with Russell Wilson. The offense looks a lot better. And he made this throw last night that I don't think many quarterbacks in the league would have made it. And he made it look effortlessly. He was doing a naked bootleg. So everybody's pulling right. And he's rolling out the opposite way. Well, out of the corner of his eye, he sees that the defensive end is closing in on him. And so he just kind of takes one step, turns. And I don't know, it was almost like a sidearm 3/4 throw. Leads Pat Fryermuth, and they get a first down on the play. So great performance from what it seemed like by Russell Wilson. The Steelers are clicking. This is the time of year, that you really want to gain some momentum, and it looks like it. On the flip side, Giants are struggling. Giants are struggling bad. I don't know what's going on. They attempted some weird, funky 2-point conversion, where everybody like that it was gonna be like a quick screen or something. I don't know, but they had like linemen out there on the outside in front of the receiver. I'm not sure what happened really. I don't know what they were thinking. That kind of reminds me of the Colts versus Patriots when they tried something similar to that on a fourth down and try to run the ball, which I don't know what they were thinking on that. But so the trick play didn't work. And many people are questioning what happened. Is Daniel Jones the quarterback? Is Dable the coach of the future? We do know the GM and coach of the Giants is staying, and I don't know. I don't know how much money Daniel Jones is on the cap, so it might be a little difficult for the Giants to move off of Daniel Jones this upcoming season, like this season and next. But I don't know, guys. Giants need something. They need a lot of help. if you're a Giants fan, well, you went through it this season, that's for sure, and you probably went through it the last couple seasons. If you're a Giants fan, I would love for you to comment. You can comment on the episode, comment on the live. If you have the socials, you can reach out. Let us know, guys, what your thoughts are on the Giants and what they need to do to get better. I think it starts with a different quarterback, but I mean, it's not just Daniel Jones' fault. I mean, he has Malik Neighbors, and that's like his only offensive weapon. Well, I mean, you can't force feed Malik Neighbors. I mean, look at the Cowboys. They really only have CeeDee Lamb, and they force feed CeeDee, but it doesn't amount to wins. So the Giants have a lot to consider. A lot to consider. The trade deadline's coming up. Maybe they want to move off some pieces, get some draft capital back. Try to stack some pieces together. But I don't know. Steelers are looking good. Giants are not. Steelers are actually leading the AFC North right now. After the Ravens lost to the Browns last week. Browns. Speaking of the Browns, they came out and said Jameis Winston is going to be the quarterback for the remainder of the season. So no shock there, especially after the win against the Ravens. He played a really good game and kind of gave the team a spark that they've needed all season. And it's really unfortunate that Jameis didn't get his chance until Deshaun got hurt because of Deshaun's contract. If it wasn't for Deshaun Watson's contract, I really feel like Watson would have got benched earlier in the season because, you don't want to pay that kind of money to a player just sitting on the bench. So that's the reason that Deshaun was there. And now he's hurt. Jameis is in. And the team really, Jameis Winston, he's a really good guy. He's a good leader. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. He's a great leader in the locker room. I know he has his interception problems, but in the locker room, he's well respected and he gets the guys fired up. I remember when he was on the Saints, as the backup, and he played a little bit for the Saints. The Saints did really well, and it just kind of became a thing where Jameis thought, he could be a starting quarterback, and the Saints didn't think that, and they let him go. He goes to Cleveland and shows that, I mean, even without a team around him, he can still, throw the football in the National Football League. So, I don't know. He's definitely going to give the Browns a spark, and Chargers play the Browns this week. So, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen there, guys? But, yeah, Steelers, they look good. The offense, I have my questions. I'm not going to lie. I have my questions. Whether the Steelers offense would be better with Russell Wilson. And so far, after 2 games, take it with a small grain of salt. Last night was against the Giants, but I mean, still playing in the National Football League, they still got to do their job too. But Steelers have been looking good. I think Russell Wilson being the quarterback probably gives them the best chance. Moving forward probably gives them the best chance at playoffs, making a playoff run. Russell Wilson's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, so he kind of knows how to handle that pressure in those environments. Justin Fields doesn't have that experience, but hey, he's sitting behind Russell Wilson, so he'll get a feel for it. So I really like the move, and I think it's paying off. I have my doubts. I'm not going to lie. I have my doubts, but it is a move that is paying off for the Steelers right now. So, good job to the Steelers, though. 22 straight games on Monday Night Football. That is probably got to be the active longest streak in the NFL right now on Monday Night Football. So, good job there. Good job. We have a few games on the college side that I'd like to talk about today. We got the hot take of the week. I don't really know. Steven didn't leave me any words for his hot take, so I'm gonna try to wing it. Guys. So I'm gonna get started with his hot take. I'm gonna try to wing it, guys. Steven's my best friend. I kind of know him. I kind of know how he thinks. We'll have to see what he has to say if he's able to make it back on tomorrow's show. How well I did versus what he would have said. His hot take of the week, guys. Steven's hot take is the Browns are going to beat the Chargers. Huh. Well. That's kind of interesting because, I mean, I don't know if that's a hot take. I mean, I kind of was thinking the same thing. I was going to pick the Browns for mine, but, so maybe it's just me and him on the same page. I don't know. But Steven's hot take is the Browns beating the Chargers this Sunday. He's probably going to say something like, Jameis Winston played a really good game against the Ravens, and Chargers don't really have the receiving core. Browns have nothing to lose. And I mean, it's true. I mean, they could really get creative. Their season's basically over. So, Browns, and then he's probably going to be like, Browns by 7. I don't know. I don't know what he would say, but he did say Browns would upset the Chargers. So, if he's able to make it on tomorrow's show, we'll have to see, kind of what he would have said and see how close I was. But it'll be really interesting. So his hot take is the Browns upsetting the Chargers. So naturally, by default, because it is his hot take, obviously I will be taking the Chargers in this game. Just like vice versa. When I make my hot take, he will by default pick the opposite team, to try to make it that hot take. So his is the Browns over the Chargers. All right, guys. Now here is my hot take of the week. I'm going to tell you right now, on a level of 1 to burning, this hot take is burning. I'm on fire right now just thinking about it. All right. My hot take of the week is those New York Football Giants are going to upset the Commanders. Yep. I said it. I do want to, real quick, before I dive into it, I want to real quick give you a couple of my honorable mentions. An honorable mention was Colts upsetting the Vikings. That was, thrown around. Bucks upsetting the Chiefs. That was kind of thrown around. And then Jags upsetting the Eagles. Okay, so I don't know. Doug Peterson, he's going back to Philly. Could have the makings of it. But honestly, maybe that's not a hot take. Maybe a lot of people are thinking that. Colts Vikings. We don't know what version of Anthony Richardson and the Colts we're going to get. Is Anthony Richardson going to be too tired like he was this past Sunday? Is he going to tap out again? And so that was an honorable mention there. And then Bucks Chiefs. I didn't pick this one. Like, this one would have probably been like even a hotter take than the Giants over the Commanders. I didn't take this one because I kind of feel like this is the time of year that, the Chiefs, they may lose a game or two, and then all of a sudden, the media blows it out of proportion, and it's, oh my, the Chiefs, they're struggling. What are they going to do? And then the Chiefs are like, oh, you want to see? And then they make their massive Super Bowl winning run again. So that's the reason I didn't pick the Bucks Chiefs. So I went with Commanders, Giants, Giants upsetting the Commanders. This is even on a short week, they played, Giants played last night. So even on a short week, I think the Giants can upset the Commanders. It's a division game. Anything can happen. We know it. So anything can happen in these division games. Um, Commanders are coming off of a big win on a Hail Mary at the end of the Bears game. You know, they maybe they're celebrating a little too much. You know, maybe they're like, "Ha, we got that win," and maybe they're not ready for the Giants. Okay, like I said, this is a division game. Anything can happen. Look at the Raiders and Chiefs this past Sunday. I know the Chiefs still won, but the fact is that the Raiders played them well. You know, even though the Raiders are kind of a, you know, not so good team right now, they still played the two-time defending Super Bowl champs really well. Made Patrick Mahomes, you know, struggle. So, I mean, this is a division game. The Giants are really familiar with the Commanders, okay? So, anything can happen in these division games. Anything. And I think this is why I did choose this one versus the other ones, is because this is a division game. And right now, it is a two-headed race between the Commanders and Eagles. And so, you know, I know the Commanders have, you know, Eagles, Cowboys coming up in the few weeks. So maybe they're looking past the Giants, you know. And, you know, oh, I got to play the Cowboys and I got to play the Eagles. Maybe they're looking past the Giants because, you know, who's paying attention to Daniel Jones led Giants who, I mean, can't do anything. So if Commanders keep up the pattern, okay, this is also interesting. So in the last 5 games, they won 2, lost 1, have now won 2. If they keep up that pattern, that means they're due for a loss. Now, I mean, so that's my hot take, guys. Commanders are going to lose to the Giants. Giants will upset the Commanders. And I think it's going to be close. Like, it's, you know, it's going to be like, it's going to come down to the Giants like pulling out like some kind of trickery at the end, maybe going for 2 instead of kicking an extra point. It's gonna be something like that. Okay, it's not gonna be a blowout, but you know the Giants pull some kind of trickery out of the bag and they pull out the upset. So that is my hot take, guys. You can comment on comment on the live, comment on the episode on Spotify. Let me know your take on my hot take. If you know me directly, you can message me, hit me up on my socials. Answer the call on Instagram. You know, so that is my hot take, guys, and whoo, it kind of feels a little heated in here now. It feels a little heated in here. So we got a lot of good games this week, guys. NFL, college. You know, I'm looking at the games for NFL here, and one that stands out to me is Lions Packers. Big division game, and I'll probably get into that one a little bit more tomorrow, maybe Thursday. But you know, Lions Packers, that is a big NFC North matchup. Another one that kind of stands out is the Rams Seahawks. They're kind of moving in different directions right now. And that's for second place in the NFC West. So and we could talk about that more as the week, I just want to get you guys ready. I think the other one that really stands out to me is Broncos Ravens. That should be another good game. So, we have some good games this week in the NFL. We have some good games. I would like to go ahead and do my call out section real quick. It's not a long list. It's all on the college side of things. And I'm not sure if I got to talk about it yesterday, but BYU, they beat UCF 37-24. They scored 30 points in 6 straight games for the first time since 1999. So the BYU Cougars are out here partying like it's 1999. And, you know, they're doing a good job. And I know we talked about them briefly, but they're doing a great job. I'm excited for BYU. Keep it up. Go get a Big 12 title. Make the playoffs. Do what you got to do, guys. Next up, we have Jarquez Hunter, running back for Auburn. He had 23 carries, 278 yards, and 2 touchdowns versus Kentucky. And I want to say that the yardage is the 4th most, maybe in like Auburn history or something. Kind of didn't get the full note wrote down. But 278 yards rushing in a game, that is impressive enough. I don't care if, you know, on what team it is. That is still impressive. So good job, Mr. Jarquez Hunter, on a stellar game that helped, I believe, helped your team win. So, and the big call out of the day is right here in Northwest Arkansas, over in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Mr. Taylen Green of the Arkansas Razorbacks. He was named the SEC Player of the Week this week. He went 23 for 29, 314 yards. That's a career high 5 touchdowns. And we talked about it a little bit, but he was dancing all over that field. He was juking and swaying back and forth. You know, he had the whole movement going. So, good job, Mr. Taylen Green. Way to represent the Razorbacks. You got a big game coming up this week, though. So keep that momentum going, and let's see if you can't earn SEC Player of the Week 2 weeks in a row, buddy. So Mr. Taylen Green, good job. Jarquez Hunter, BYU, good job, guys. No bad call-outs today. It's a Tuesday, all right? Not a lot happens. Well, I mean, a lot does happen. I'm surprised that some weird trade didn't happen, honestly, okay? I'm surprised that some weird trade of some sort did not happen. But, so that's the call out, guys. I wanted to get that out of the way before I got, you know, into these games. We have a prime time game. It's not even a prime time. I keep saying because it should be a prime time. This should be the showdown. This is the showdown of the week, guys. We have number 3 versus number 4. We have Ohio State taking on Penn State. We have the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions. And this is just one of those games that should be played in prime time, but it's a noon kickoff game. This is a massive game between 2 top 5 teams, guys. Like I just said, 3 versus 4. Major playoff implications on the line here. I mean, this could determine if Ohio State has a chance at winning the Big Ten. This could mean, you know, Penn State, you know, possibly dropping out of the top 5. So major playoff implications in this game. And we're going to kick this game off at noon. A noon kickoff. What? You mean to tell me that you couldn't have pushed this game back a little further? So maybe this, you know, I do know that the World Series is going on. Right now, the Yankees are about to get swept. So I don't know, maybe it gets pushed back, but I don't think they would do it this late. But this definitely, when they made the schedule, this should have been a primetime game. I mean, it's Ohio State versus Penn State. It's a, you know, it's a rivalry, even though it's not a traditional rivalry, because Big Ten rivals, you know, it has a lot on the line, and it's a noon kickoff game. And I don't know, some people may see it as like, well, we got the great game, you know, to start the day, and I'm like, that's true, but then what's gonna you know follow that? I'd rather have this game in prime time, maybe move a game, and kind of flip the games around a little bit. But needless to say, Ohio State versus Penn State at noon Eastern, 11 Central, 10 on the West Coast, 9 on the West Coast. Sorry. So anyway, guys. Anyway, big one, big one. Ryan Day, great coach for Ohio State. He is 62-9 at Ohio State. 62-9. Of those 9, all 9 of Ryan Day's losses are from teams ranked 12th or better. So in Ryan Day's, since Ryan Day became the head coach of Ohio State, they have not lost to a team below 12th rank. That's impressive. That means that they're only losing to teams that are equal or better than them. Yeah, he threw a temper tantrum. We get it. Should he have held his emotions a little better? Absolutely. But it is also a very, football is a very emotional sport. The emotions run high, guys. So I'm not saying he was right or wrong because I can't tell you what I would do in that situation. Maybe I would have had the same reaction. Maybe you guys would have had the same reaction. We don't really know until we were in that particular situation, in that moment, how we would handle, because I can sit here in front of all you guys all day long and be like, I would not react that way. That is uncalled for. And yeah, it might be uncalled for, but I can't sit here and tell you that I wouldn't act the same way because it's emotions. That was one of his players. From the sounds of it's not a definitive targeting. He did, I didn't see the play. I was probably watching. I probably had it up. It probably kind of slipped through the moment of watching 4 games at a time. But either way, guys, I probably would have had the same reaction. I don't know if I would. Maybe I would have just sat there and be like, hey, come on. Or maybe I would have been up in the ref's face too. So football is, and being a head coach, you have all this responsibility and you have all these emotions. Like, you want the best for your players and you want to win ball games and, so it's just a lot. So I don't agree or disagree with what happened. Obviously he should have definitely stayed on the sideline. So I guess I disagree with his action, but I can't sit here and judge him hardcore and be like, oh, you messed up and I would have never done that because we don't know. We don't know how we would have. So big game, guys. Big game. Ohio State and Penn State, noon kickoff. Well, we got that game. Well, what are we gonna watch now? Don't worry, guys. Today and tomorrow, I've got a couple of games I'm going to talk about today. Kind of more of the marquee matchups. I want to find a few more to talk about tomorrow. That way we kind of have something for those moments. Because I'll sit here and watch college football all day. But I definitely want and need to have a good game present. So I will see what other games I can find that might pique people's interest, and I will see what happens. Another game: Ole Miss versus Arkansas. Ooh. Ole Miss versus Arkansas. And this one, this game is a home game for the Hogs, okay? It's going to be loud in Fayetteville on Saturday. It's going to be loud. This one should be a good one, guys. If the same Arkansas team shows up again that showed up against Mississippi State shows up this week against Ole Miss, and they should have no problem winning. Because last week the Hogs, they came to play. Them Hogs, man, they got wild. They ran wild offensively and defense. I mean they were able to hold their own for the most part. So Ole Miss, Arkansas, it's a home game for the Hogs. Okay, both teams are 3-2 in their last 5 games. Okay, so both teams are 3-2 in the last 5 games. Arkansas lost to Texas A&M, who just beat LSU. Okay, you know, and LSU in that span. Ole Miss lost to LSU and Kentucky. So both teams lost to LSU, but Arkansas lost to Texas A&M, who beat LSU, and Ole Miss lost to Kentucky. So really, if you want to break it down that way, Arkansas lost to 2 better teams than what Ole Miss has. If the Razorbacks can get pressure on Jackson Dart early and often, they have a great chance. They have a real great chance. You know, get that pressure on him, make him not comfortable in that pocket, make him react faster than he wants to. Taylor Green and the offense will need to do their part and put up the points. You know, Razorback fans, you know, everybody, for the Razorbacks to win this game, they need to put up the points. We can't have the showing like against, you know, some of these other teams where it was like, oh man, like, you know, the offense is sputtering. No, like, Razorback offense just needs to right out the gate. If they're going to win this game. So now this is not me picking who I think is going to win. I haven't made my picks yet, but this is me giving kind of a preview of what's going on in the college world. So that is another game to be monitoring. Pitt versus SMU. Oh, here we go. This one actually I think is a primetime game. This is a 6 or 6:30 game. It's at SMU. This should be an interesting game. Pitt's defense last week was phenomenal against Syracuse. We all know about the pick sixes and all of this and that. SMU's offense tends to be the opposite direction. So we have, 2 different styles here, an offensive team, a defensive team. And it should be one that, I feel like it could go either way. It'll be interesting to see which side of the ball wins, whether it's Pitt's defense or it's SMU's offense. It could be a low-scoring defensive game real easily. Or it could be a high-scoring offensive game. Because, I don't know much about SMU's defense, but, they've been looking like they've been holding people, to points. I've also seen SMU's offense kind of sputter at times. Even as high-powered as they are, they tend to kind of sputter out a little bit. So I'm going to be watching this game. It's a primetime game. So there you guys go. We have undefeated Pitt taking on 7-1 SMU. SMU only loss came against BYU, who's still undefeated. So, kind of a, yes, it was a loss, but it was a good loss. So, it'll be real interesting. I'm definitely going to do a little bit more homework on both teams before I make my pick. I don't want to jump the gun, guys. I don't want to jump the gun. Well, a couple more games. We got the Wisconsin Badgers taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. A Big Ten matchup. I know both teams have kind of had their ups and downs all season, but I hope this is a traditional Big Ten matchup. And what I mean by that, if you've heard in earlier episodes, in the year, you know, we talked about Big Ten football, the power football, just running and grinding, defensive game. So I hope that it has that same feel. I hope that it has, honestly, guys, sometimes I don't mind a low scoring game. I don't mind a 13-10 if it's exciting, like, if it's defense and football is being played. Um, I mean, it could. I do. I want a physical defensive game, guys. I want to see a traditional Big Ten, and I thought we were going to get it, but USC and Washington and Oregon, they're not original Big Ten members. They're from the West Coast. They're from the that kind of West Coast offense, the spread offense, and all that. I want to, and this is a game that could be more of a Big Ten traditional defensive physical game. The Badgers love running the ball. The Hawkeyes, they would prefer to run the ball. Run the ball, set up play action, let their deep, kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the Pittsburgh Steelers of the college football world. It's in Iowa, so the Hawkeyes will have the home crowd in their back pocket, being loud. Um, Iowa is a tough place to play, even when even when the team isn't doing so good. Iowa fans show up because I mean I've never been to Iowa, but I mean probably kind of like what it is in parts of Kansas and Missouri and stuff like that. Not a whole lot to do. So football is life, and I assume that it's like that in Iowa because they always show up for the fans always show up and they're loud. So this will be really interesting to see how it goes. Now, not picking it, but I'm just gonna say if Wisconsin can kind of up the tempo just a little bit, I feel that might give them an edge. Obviously, Iowa has a slight edge because it is a home game and it is going to be loud. So, it's going to be really interesting, guys. I don't know. Maybe I should start doing a hot take of the week on the college side. And if you guys want to see that, let me know. Reach out to us. You can also, answer the call at Gmail. You could email us. You can comment on the episode. You could reach out to our socials. So let us know, guys, if we started doing this hot take of the week in the NFL. Let us know if you guys want us to start doing a hot take of the week in college. Now, college is a little more trickier, but I'll still give it if that's what you guys want. So, we have another game that we're going to talk about. Uh, this one, this one is an ACC matchup. Okay, so we've had a SEC, we've had a Big Ten, we've had a Big 12. Okay, now we're gonna go to the ACC. We're gonna go to the ACC. Louisville takes on Clemson. Louisville Cardinals taking on the Clemson Tigers. It's a home game for the Tigers. Louisville takes on number 11 Clemson. It's a home game for the Tigers, and many believe Clemson is the original Death Valley. Okay, it is a loud stadium. They have like one of the more iconic and intimidating entrances in college football. Honestly, I can't start rooting for them now because they've been winning and dominant for so many years. Like But I really kind of like rooting for Clemson because I like watching their entrance. Coach shows up on the bus. The players are just standing there, kind of waiting, waiting, waiting. Coach comes up, and they're just standing there on top of the hill looking down. Like almost like a tiger in a tree ready to pounce on their prey, all right? And then all of a sudden, here come the Tigers down the hill, marching down that hill. And I don't know, man. It's just one of the more iconic college entrances. I love it. Big fan. Um, let's see. Louisville will have to be on their A game for this one. No joke. Okay, you know they got lucky last week with Boston College blowing a 20-point lead. Clemson will not give them that same opportunity. Clemson's not going to blow a 20-point lead. If Clemson is up 20, you better be expecting to lose by pretty close to 20 or more. So Clemson's not going to give them that. Clemson is a well-rounded team, guys. They can run the ball. They have a good quarterback, solid defense. They have the home crowd. This could be a tough game for Louisville. So if Louisville's going to sneak out of Clemson, sneak out of Death Valley or whatever people call it with a win, they're going to have to be on their A game. And they're going to have to, they're going to have to attack first. I mean, they're going to have to get ahead and let the defense try to, hold the Clemson offense and not try to be behind on points, especially in a loud stadium like this. You don't want to get behind the 8 ball in a loud stadium. Like, you don't want to be behind the team, and then with the crowd getting really loud. So for that, Louisville. Obviously, I haven't made my pick. I'd probably put if I was making it today, I'd probably pick Clemson. Clemson's kind of been under the radar this year. So we don't know, guys. I don't know what's going to happen. We have lots to talk about this week. Tomorrow is the fantasy players we like and don't like, boom and bust. So we have a little fantasy segment for everybody. It was brought to my attention last week that people really enjoyed it. So we're going to continue doing that moving forward, and probably in the off season, we probably do something like, players you should target, draft, stuff like that. We could probably get a little bit more in depth into it, but for right now, in the fantasy world, we're just gonna on Wednesdays kind of do a couple players we like, a couple players we don't like, and then a boom or bust player at each position. That went really well for us last week. So that's tomorrow, guys. That's on tomorrow's show. So if you're a fantasy football player and you don't miss tomorrow, because we'll have a segment on that. Hopefully Steven will be back tomorrow. Honestly, it'll kind of just depend what time I get off work before he has to go to work, type thing. So, but I'm hoping to get off work kind of early, and that way we can come in, do the show, and then he can go to work. Well, guys, I think we've covered most of it today. I don't see anything else. I can't thank you guys enough for the continued support. Much appreciated. This is live on YouTube, so you can follow on YouTube. Answer the Coll, COLL. It's where we do the live, and then it gets posted to Spotify. Answer the Coll. You go to the podcast section and type in "Answer the Coll," and you'll be able to. It should pop up real quick. Guys, we appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening, whether it's your first time or you're a returning viewer. And if it is your first time, please tap that follow, tap the bell. Don't miss any notifications when we go live or when we post an episode. You guys have a great day. I'm Timmy, and I answered the call.